go to Connor in Scottsdale. AZ, what's up, brother? How we doing?
What's going on, Dr. D? Pleasure to talk with you, man.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, brother. How's it going?
So, dude, it's going really well. First, let me start off with been a listener since before day one. Remember the Ramsey episode when he introduced you as a personality, and then how excited I was to you starting a show. So big fan, man. Pleasure
Dude, thanks, brother. You are in rare air. There's only there's not a lot of you guys, so thank you so much. Appreciate that, brother.
Hey, no problem. So want to get your thoughts, and I'll let you dig into it, on burnout. Is burnout a real thing? What are some of the, side effects of it? Is it physical, mental, and how do you know if you're experiencing true burnout?
Man, so yes, 1,000% it's real. It's a biochemical issue. I think sometimes it gets lumped into a character issue or you're not tough enough issue or things like that. But yes, your body can get cooked. The best book I've ever read, seen, heard about on this topic is by the Nagotsky sisters. And I'll link to it in the show notes. It's called Burnout. That's the name of the book. And they wrote it for women. I've talked to numerous men who find it incredibly important as well, or valuable. I find it valuable as well. But using their framework, which I love, you can break down burnout into a couple of different things. Number one, well, let me back out. You're experiencing this. Is that why you're asking?
No, full on. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to break this framework down, but I want to use you as the case study. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number one is this deep sense of complete and utter exhaustion. You open your eyes in the morning and you're tired. And somewhere about 7:30, 8:30 a.m., you start thinking about, dude, in 10 more hours, I can be right back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. So walk me through it.
Yeah, exactly. Just to give you a very quick backstory, my entire life, I've always felt with that deep sense of not feeling good enough and not, always needing to prove myself, which led into, being in competitive motorsports and kind of being put in that world of, I've heard you say it a couple times, that rough, tough, hard charger of prove myself, be stronger, kill or be killed kind of mentality. And over the last 5 years, I've experienced a few, I guess some would say big life events, with my becoming a new dad and then my ex trying to take her life, and then changing jobs and changing careers and being a single parent and meeting my now absolutely beyond epic wife.
Awesome.
And then going through the crazy immigration process, she's from a different country, and kind of when you add all this stuff on top of it, along with this, challenging environment that we're in now with culture and kind of just society, being that, all right, I'm the man of the house, and my wife's Russian, so she's very, you got to be a real man. And what I'm noticing is the way I personally react to stress is be stronger, work harder, be better.
Yes.
And the more stress that's put on me, the harder I want to work, and the harder I want to, provide, and the harder I want to push myself, to the point where I'm super blessed with a boss that's, hey, work as many hours as you want, which that's a blessing and a curse, because I look at it and go, we're walking through the baby steps, and we're on baby step 3B, and so I'm like, gazelle intensity, and so I'm, I turn around and my mindset is be the gazelle, but then you've used the metaphor a couple times that the gazelle gets tired.
Yeah,
and my mindset is, how do you turn around as the gazelle and grab the lion, by the throat and be like, how do you be better?
Yeah.
And it just all led up to when I contacted you. I've talked to different, pastors and counselors and everything, and listening to your show. I'm like, man, I would love to get, your tips and tricks and your insight in it. Because a few weeks ago, I think the last 5 years kind of all just hit. Like, I wasn't sick, but just moving and getting out of bed, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, it just.
So here's so burnout is when your body says, dude, I'm out. At some point, your body says, this is as much as I got right now. And we can make it, you might get the flu, you might get sick, you might get cancer, you might get any number of things. But at some point, the alarms have been ringing for long enough that your body finally says, it's like, dude, it's like driving your car and never changing the oil. And then someone's saying, dude, you got to pull over and change the oil. And you're like, no, bro, you just got to drive faster. Drive faster. And like, okay, dude, but like the light's blinking on the dash. And you just say, drive faster. At some point, your car engine just melts together. And if you don't do maintenance on the car, it just quits running. And so, yeah, burnout, you just walked through the entire bricks in the backpack. Like, you were born into a story, into a culture that said, you're not a human being, you're a human doing. You are what you accomplish, so accomplish well. And you found some accomplishment, you found some esteem, which is awesome, which is great in motorsports, which revs your body up all day, every day. And you almost die every day proving yourself, literally. And then you move on to all those different traumas. And so, yeah, dude, there's just a point when your body just goes, brother, if you're not going to stop, I'm going to stop us. And then it all comes crashing down. By the way, you've got a new culture that you are connecting with that has a picture of what masculinity looks like and what strength looks like and all that. So it sounds like you're tired, man, of all of it.
So let me, yes and no. Without going into, obviously I would love to, and we could talk for hours and hours and hours,
yeah.
But when your body says, chemically enough's enough, the engine oil's gone, the engine's, dead, you've pushed so hard that, and I can get all of that.
Yeah.
I get pacing yourself in a long distance race and taking care of the vehicle and everything like that. But how do you fight when the engine stops, when you burn out, the feelings of you're not good enough, be stronger. You shouldn't burn out. Mm-hmm. You're a failure because you're sleeping in bed all day long.
Yes.
There's male figures in my life that the joke was growing up, and that's all I ever saw was, I only work a half day at my job. What do we do with the other 12 hours is up to us.
Yeah.
And so
that's a voice of someone who's cooked. So my hope for everybody is you never fully get there because it's hard to come back. It's hard.
How do you come back?
You got to be really intentional. And often people come back in rehab, or they come back in divorce court, or they come back and their children are filing for emancipation. Usually, or they're just got fired and they got to figure out a new career. Coming back can be hard. It happens every single day. That's why I do the show. Everybody can come back. I believe that with all my soul, I wouldn't be doing this. But it's hard. So I want you to take the engine metaphor away, and I want to give you another metaphor that I think is going to be better. So imagine, you know anything about plumbing at all?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you've got like a clog. You can run in your pipes, and your sink starts backing up. You can run to the hardware store and grab a bottle of Drano, dump it in there, and chances are it will at least let that thing drain. And it's bad for your pipes, it's bad for everything, but it's bad for your sewer system, it's bad for everything, but it will clear that clog. If every morning you woke up and just dump Drano into your sink every day. In short order, it would eat through the pipes. It would destroy everything. And so I want you to think about that when it comes to your body's stress response. Our stress response is still ancient technology. It is running on, hey, there's a tiger and it's going to try to eat us and I got to get away or I got to kill it or it's going to kill me. And whenever you walk through a life thinking, I'm not good enough, or I just screwed that up, or I should have done this, it's got to be better, I got to get done faster, I got to work more, I got to do more. All the time your body just has a few responses to that, and it is a cortisol and adrenaline and stress hormones over and over and over and over. And that's like dumping Drano. And then to solve that problem, you hop on a motorbike and drive 95 miles an hour and try not to die. And it's like, well, we're back in it again. And then you are in a marriage that has fallen apart and you're back in it again. And home becomes a place that's not safe. So you leave a bear cave and go home and there's a tiger on your couch. And then you see your aunts and uncles or your dad or your granddad who just most of your memories are them sitting on the couch because their bodies say, screw you, man. Or they're 7 tall boys into every single day of their life because beer turns the alarms down a little bit. It works for a while till it kills you. Or you just get cooked and then meth and coke and 17 Red Bulls, it will speed you up to get through a day and then you collapse and do it again the next day and do it again the next day. And so what I want you to do is I want you to back up and stop putting Drano in the sink. And so I want you to think of burnout as, this is from the Nagoski sisters, I love it. It is the result of unfinished business. You haven't completed the stress cycle. You spun up some stress in your life and you haven't completed it. You got to let that thing cycle through, which is why a break isn't a reward. A break is an essential part of a hard day. Relationships, being with people, going for walks, exercise, eating right, sleeping. Those are not things that you add on to your life. Those are core principles that you have to have. You have to have days of the week that you take off. If you are going to be gazelle intense, it's got to be short order. You got to crush it with I can do this for 3 years and that is it. And then I've got to stop putting Drano in that drain for a season. And you have to deal with those bricks in your backpack, brother. Those stories you're carrying around with you. And here's how I do it. I'll tell you exactly how I do it because I've got those same ones in my bag. Okay? I have a small little black journal. And then what I'm about to tell you sounds cheesy and stupid. Don't let your buddies see it. But actually, I don't care because we need to change the picture of what masculinity even looks like. And it's a stories journal that I carry with me. And I'll write it down. And now I've been doing it so long now that I don't have to write it down all the time because now I can spin it out pretty quick out of my head. But that you should have, I write that down. I can't believe you didn't, I write that down. You just need to suck it up and man up, I write that down. And I look at it, I literally will extend my arm. I talked about this in a recent show. I will extend my arm at arm's length and I will look at it. Jocko calls that detachment. Michael Singer calls that mindfulness. You can call it whatever you want. Whether you're a Navy SEAL or you're like a guru, I don't care. You got to get some space from that thought and then demand evidence. Is that true? And that's the magic, brother, right there. Am I the worst dad? The answer is no. Am I a crappy man? No. Does manning up mean that I don't get to sleep? No. That's foolish. It's nonsense. Look around, brother. All men are dying young. Diseases of despair. They're all addicts, and it's crazy when you look across the culture, right? It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need a generation of men to take care of themselves. Now, hear me say, not work real. You got to still work your butt off. Be really, really, set high goals, man. Be really ambitious. And know.
That's not a problem here.
Okay, but look. Set those high goals, be ambitious, and know that ambition is not going to save you. It's not going to make everything better. There is no dollar amount that's going to make you go, now, I'm worthy. That doesn't exist. It's both and. Be ambitious, have high goals, and know what's going to make your heart still is a great marriage, is kids that love being around their dad. Those moments when you're just fishing and everything's quiet and you're not catching anything and you think, this is right. Those are the things that heal you, not more money and more accomplishments and more titles and more straps on the wall. And so it's both and. And we live in a culture that tells you either or, and this is why I think most people are exhausted. Like, you just need to sit at home and the government will mail you checks. That's ridiculous. We have purpose. We are designed to contribute. As my friend Ken Coleman says, you got to have a purpose. We're designed to work. And that work in and of itself won't heal you. It's both and. And so what does that mean? You've got to re-examine your meaning. Why are you doing what you're doing? Do you have that?
Do I? Absolutely.
Why are you getting up every day, Connor?
I want to provide a better, life for.
Nope, that's external.
Not only
that's external. What about you? What do you want?
Oh, then
Connor?
yeah, I don't have that. It's every reason I have is external.
Okay.
There's zero internal reasons, because then it gets into a whole other topic of I feel selfish if I have too many internal reasons. So
that's a story you write down. I'm selfish for taking care of me. Bullcrap. I'm selfish for changing the oil in my car. What? I'm selfish for putting wiper fluid in my car. What? That doesn't even make sense. And I'm not getting onto you. I'm getting onto our culture here. And so that's a story
Absolutely.
you write down and you hold it out and go, no, that's nonsense. I have to take care of Connor. Otherwise, Connor can't take care of anybody else. But so many men, their identity is what they provide for other people. And I need men to start looking in the mirror and saying, what do I need? How can I contribute to my well-being so that I can then do these other things that the world needs us so desperately to be doing? So you got to re-examine meaning. You got to move your body and discharge this energy, okay? You have to have a regular practice of exercise, of moving your body, of doing something, going for walks. And if you have a high stress job, if you're still running motocross, you're still doing high stuff, then I want you to lift weights and go for walks, not dump a marathon on top of all that stuff. Because there's a point when that stress just becomes toxic. It just eats your body from the inside out, okay? And then the third one is human connection. Sleep. You got to have good relationships. And I would recommend, I know you love, your wife's a saint and an angel. You got to have male buddies. Do you have that?
None my age, all significantly older than me, just because I love mentors. So I don't really have any friends my exact age.
So what I've learned from myself is that we often have older male mentors because it gives us a reason to have a relationship. We can say we're learning something. And because we don't think we're worthy of just having a regular relationship. And so your goal is, your new challenge is to get male friends your age and do stuff. Go fishing, fix bikes, mow each other's yards. Just grab a beer and laugh and play poker. I don't care what it is. And if at all possible, bring your kid along too, so that he has a picture in his head of what friendship looks like. Because you don't have that. You have a picture of men going home and just sitting on the couch and staring off into space. And then the final thing was, I want you to start being creative. Do you have a hobby at all, brother?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I want you to continue being...
Actually, that's tough because my hobby is my job. So
okay, then you got to get something else. It's hard to, because I know a lot of mechanics, they're mechanics and they go home and they spend the next 4 hours working on their car. You know what? I would love to see you do something else to get creative and expand your mind, but I also don't want to take away your art, and I get that. So I don't know what you do for a living, but I get that can get messy. If you are a cop and then you go home and try to solve crimes at night, you're gonna melt your brain. If you're a plumber and then for at nighttime your hobby is more plumbing, you're gonna just make yourself bonkers.
Absolutely.
So you got to have a hobby where you can be creative. And creativity can be cooking. It can be go take dancing classes. Learn guitar. I don't care, dude. Be a poet. I don't care what it is. Go hunting. But you got to find some creative outlets. And then I want you to start a gratitude journal every day of your life. I want you to wake up and write down 5 things you're grateful for. I got my gratitude journal in my bag too. I carry 2 journals with me. I do. Every day of my life, I'm grateful for this. And over a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, you're going to change your body chemistry through gratitude. And there's a billion studies for that. Check out that book, Burnout. I want to redefine what it looks like to be a man. We're going to create a third path. I do need you to lift weights. I need you to be strong. I need you to be there for your community. And I need you to have relationships and friends and hobbies. I need you to look in the mirror and say, I can't help others be well if I'm not well. You got to start with you. You got to put your oxygen mask on first. And if you sleep and take care of your body, then you can show up when the world needs strong arms. If you are creative and well, then you can help solve some of these vexing challenges that we're all wrestling with. Don't sit at home and collect checks, and don't snap into a Slim Jim. It's both. You got to go work, and you got to find meaning, you got to find purpose, and you got to rest and change the oil. You got to stop dumping Drano down the sink.